Hey guys, and welcome back to World War II Solitaire board game channel. Today we're gonna take a look at another roll and write game. It's Roll for Omaha 1944. It's designed by Noah Patterson, the same designer who gave us the very excellent one-page World War II about tank wars in the Ardennes. So is this game as good as one-page World War II? Let's take a look. First of all, what we get from this game, or what we need to print, is a 10-page rule book. We have some nice period photos and we have some nice game examples in these rules. Let's just take a look at the rules as they are. I gotta say the rules aren't really as good as they are in one-page World War II. There are some errors, there are some missing information, and even now I have to say, like, I sent a message to the designer asking some questions about this game, and he basically said, okay, I designed this game quite a long time ago, so I don't remember. I'll see if I ever have time to get back to you. I'm gonna get back to you. He answered 1 out of 4 questions anyway, so I got at least some help. But as you can see anyway in the rules, it's not a lot. I mean, it's 10 pages with a lot of color images and black and white period images. But anyway, those are the rules. And then once you learn the rules, what you need to play is this player aid and this one page. You'll also need a dice, and you will need a pencil with an eraser. You could also I use some cubes just to make things simpler, and I won't have to clean up this player page as much when you use the cubes. You could also use minis if that's something that you like. Anyway, this game is played in 20 turns. We have a turn record track up here, and we have some things here to help us out. And basically, in the first turn, you won't do much except bomb with your air support. You won't try to land any units. In the second turn, you will start landing your engineers and your infantry. And in the third turn, you will start landing your tanks. After that is done, you can start taking actions with your units. And basically, you have your regular infantry, which can choose to advance or fire. You have your engineers. They have a few more options. They can advance. They can't advance. They advance with the infantry, but they can choose to fire. They can choose to clear obstacles for the tank to be able to move forward. And when they are adjacent to the enemy fortification, they can also choose to bomb that fortification. And then you have your tanks, and they work just like the infantry. They can choose to advance or fire. But they cannot advance. They will advance here on the right side of these tracks, and they can't advance if the engineers haven't cleared the obstacles. So basically it all hangs on the infantry, because the infantry, which will advance here in the left track, will take the engineers with them. The engineers cannot advance on their own. So basically it all hangs on the infantry. If the infantry doesn't make it forward, the engineers and the tanks won't make it forward. And basically this is what you need to clear. You need to clear these German soldiers here. Every plus, or whatever you want to call these, are represent one German unit. And we have barbed wire here, which represent the German fortifications. And so basically you're gonna roll for advancing, and you're gonna check your tables here. Let's say, for example, also weather is going to play a big deal. You have clear, overcast, and storm. The game starts on overcast, and you are going to roll for a new weather every turn, and it will go to clear or storm from overcast. And basically the weather is going to have a huge impact on your rolls, because what's happened, for example, say that I want to advance with my infantry here. Let's say that this infantry here has taken 1 hit. So I will reference this number from advancing. Let's say that I also have stormy weather. I will roll 1 dice and I will look at my advanced table here. Modifiers, we have the modifiers. Overcast is -1 strength, storm is -2 in strength. So that means my 3 is going to turn into a 1. So here is our modified unit strength. So I will reference my 1 here. I will roll a dice. I rolled a 6. So a 6 means that I was able to advance. A 5 would also have let me advance. A 4 would have left me just where I was without taking casualties. And a 3, a 2, and a 1 would have given me 1 casualty. So that's how the advancement work. And then you can see here that actually that's how everything works. You have an attack table which works about almost exactly the same, except you will modify your attack value and strength depending on distance and how much of these obstacles or defenses the German units have left. And basically also the air bombing, the landing, and the bombardment also works very similar. So this, you are gonna roll a lot of dice in this game. So like, I don't really do reviews. I just give my thoughts of the game, and I guess that's kind of a review, but I say that I don't do reviews. Anyway, do I enjoy it? Not very much. I gotta say 2 things that I don't like with this game. First of all, the weather. Everything hangs on the weather. If you have clear weather, you're gonna have an easy game. If you have a stormy weather, you're gonna have a hard game. So there's too much depending on the weather. The second part is that it feels like there's not really much you can do to impact. You're rolling and you're referencing these tables, just looking at tables most part of the game. You're just scanning these tables as fast as possible because you want to move forward. And it doesn't really feel like you're doing something. It just feels like rolling dice and looking at tables. And then you might think like, isn't that just what the Hunters is, or for that matter, one-page World War II? Well, the answer is yes. But the difference with this game and one-page World War II and the Hunters is that both of those have small options for player interaction, which makes you feel like you have a lot of choices. For example, one-page World War II would let you spend extra ammunition to take one more shot at the enemy, or it would let you use grit to take an extra action or extra defense. It would let you have some choices, and even though some of those choices might not be as impactful as you think, it makes you feel like you're the one who is in control. It makes you feel like you're driving the tank, and when you lose, you feel responsible for that, and when you win, you also feel responsible for that, even though it might have been 99% just the dice. And the difference with that and this game is that it doesn't feel like that, and the reason for me is because I feel like I have no choices. Like I said, when I'm advancing with my infantry, it feels like, okay, I can advance now or I can shoot. And for me, the answer is obvious. I need to advance all the way here with my infantry, all the way up to the German defenses, because if I don't advance with my infantry, my engineers are stuck. And if I don't clear obstacles with my engineers, the tanks are stuck. So, everything it hangs about is get as close as possible and start firing. So get your infantry all the way over here, start firing. Get your engineers all the way up here, start firing after you clear the obstacles. Get your tanks all the way up here and start firing. And basically that's it. So, the only choice you will have, because for the first one, you don't have any choice about the bombardment of the air support. You just roll your dice. Same goes for landing your troops. There's no choices, there's no things you can do to change the result. You just roll dice. So then when the game starts, the only choice, and the only choice in the whole game, will be fire or advance. For your engineers, it's going to be fire or clear obstacles. And when you reach the stronghold, fire or bomb or clear obstacles. And the tanks is going to be fire or advance. And I mean, it's just one thing to do in the game where you actually are in control. And it's too little, and it's too obvious choice. So that's my quirk with the game, why I'm not very much enjoying it. But for each their own. Some people might really enjoy it. It's like if you come up with a good narrative and so on, you might enjoy this one. I will do a playthrough video of this game, so you will be able to check it out for yourself. Another thing I want to note is that this is also a free game, just like One Page World War II. You can pay, and I recommend you to pay a little bit, just to support the designer. But it is free if you don't have. You might be a student or whatever. You might be in a tight economic situation. Get the game for free. But before you do, at least before you pay for it, look at my playthrough video and make a choice for yourself. Okay, guys, so that's Roll for Omaha. Basically, also you might want to know how you win in this game, and once you have cleared these German defenses, all of them in one. So say for example that I cleared these two, right? So I have 5 defenses remaining. At the end of my turn, I'm gonna roll, and if I roll higher than that, I have won. So basically I need to roll a 6. So the sequence of play might also be cool to go through before we end this video. And basically you're gonna have a turn advance sequence. So that's just, advancing your turn track. And then you're going to have a weather sequence, rolling to see if the weather changes, or it will always do mainly. If it's an even number, it becomes better. If it was an uneven number, it would become worse. And then if you get an uneven number again, it doesn't change. You have your activation sequence, and that's when you decide if you want to advance or attack. And then you have Naval Support sequence, and basically what that means is that once you reach 10 casualties, the Naval Support is going to start, and you will roll according to the bombardment table. Also automatic, you don't have any saying it. And then Victory Check sequence, which is rolling your dice. If it's higher than the number of full German defenses remaining, you have won. So again, if you cleared 2, there's 5 remaining, you roll 6, you have won. Anyway, guys, stay tuned for my playthrough video. Also, a small note, I bought a new camera. It's like a top-down camera tripod. It's not a tripod. I had a tripod before, but it made so I can't place sitting down, and it's also always in the way here in the middle. On top of that, I got 2 new lights, studio lights. I have these on the highest setting. There's also another setting for them. You can have this kind of light, but I kind of prefer this one. And then you can also turn them down a little bit if you want to, but I think you see that turning them down, it almost feels like they are making the reflections worse. So this is the highest setting. Let me know what you think of these lights. And it's kind of hard to tell just looking at the screen now, but it looks good, and I think it looks better than my camping lanterns. Anyway, guys, that's the end of this video. Please subscribe to my channel, and see you next time.